approval of the agenda. Does anybody have any changes or add-ons or anything you need? Sorry.
No, I don't think so.
I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This seems loud, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's
Really loud. It's louder than usual.
There we go. The agenda is approved. Approval of the minutes for October 28th, 2024. You two were not here. I don't know if you read over them. Aaron and I looked through them. I didn't see anything to change. If you noticed anything else from your type up. That was our last meeting.
Yeah, right now. No.
That's the last board. So I will, unless you notice anything, I didn't, I will motion to approve the minutes from that last meeting, October 28th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those are approved. Secretary's report. We don't have a newly elected, but you're the running secretary.
Nothing to report, but it'll probably be me, right?
Treasurer's report. We got that in. Everything that was on it was from, we got invoices from Two Maids Clean, which is our cleaning service for the halls, the rental halls. We got the October and November ones. We also got it for November for Samaria, Dundee Fire and Safety. I'm not sure what that one was. I would have to check with Al or the bills. Consumers Energy, Michigan Gas, South County Water, Sewage, and Stevens Disposal are the only ones listed. All in, this is dating back most of November and into December here. Speaking with Al, they've been kept up and been paid and all that, but we just are improved. I mean, Michigan Gas, you got invoices from August 14th, October 17th, November 12th, November 15th for Car Samaria. We're just kind of backlogging and approving all these unless I didn't notice anything egregious or crazy on the numbers, like something was broken. Total expenses all in over this entire period was $5,819.42. Revenue over that time period, we had 3B had paid their utilities payment for September and October for under the lease agreement. The cell tower at Carr and rentals through that period was $2,500, bringing that to $56,76.58. There's nothing outstanding or ordinary or something you think we might be missing. I will motion to approve this report.
I can second that. It looks good.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
And aye. So pass with 4. The report is approved. Presentations, we didn't have any listed. Nancy, if you want to go during ComEd or honestly, presentations followed up by ComEd Park Partners. So I'll let you take the floor.
Just wanted to say hello to previous, and I'm Nancy Crandall. Thank you for being on the board.
Absolutely.
I did submit, as part of your packet, kind of an overview of Community Ed and what we do, but I'm not going to go through all of that. I'll let you do that. Just know that we work with you mainly on the recreation leagues to bring that to the community. All the other is separate, but I just wanted you to know the overall.
Hold on.
All right. Just quickly, we're currently in the middle of the fall basketball series for pre-K, K1 and 2. There's 16 teams with 172 players. They're playing through the winter break. We also have a girls basketball league with 4 teams and have our first time ever a travel kind of a Monroe Community League. We're also running a fall volleyball league for grades 3, 5, and 6, 8. There we have 10 teams with about 83 kids, and they run the same season. Just so you know, we could have added more and had more that wanted to play, but we ran out of space without having to make teams too large and making it not fun for everybody. We had to limit it. So we'd love to have more space. We have 4 nights of adult competitive volleyball and basketball also running at night, and they're generally after a time when most families would want their kids out. So doesn't add into that. Our 2025 winter brochure is about to hit about to go on live that will open up a whole new array of programs and leagues and stuff for the winter. Our winter boys league is probably one of our largest and most competitive, and we've got a lot of interest in that. So, and just know we're Daddy-Daughter Dance is February 5th. It'll be our 30th year, and we're looking forward to a nice time with that. So, just wanted to meet you and say hello and let you know what we're doing. So.
Thank you so much. Good to see you again. I don't see 3B or any of our park partners, so we'll go to pickleball. Yep, go right ahead.
Steve Selinsky, 4540 School Road, Temperance, Michigan, 48182. And I just wanted to introduce myself too as well. Aaron and Andrew already know me from the previous years. And congratulations on getting on the board. We've had pickleball going since 2015, and I've been kind of spearheading that and going to White Park and playing, and White Park has fallen apart. It's getting unsafe to play, and so about in 2022, they had a survey, and White Park pickleball was #1 choice for the survey, and also Carr Park pickleball was #1 for the survey. The park board at the time put energy into getting that okayed, and it went all the way to bid in August. However, from my understanding, I don't think any of the contractors knew about it. And so I'm just curious as to where that's at, if that's going to continue maybe for the spring, and if there's an ETA on that, and who is the person that I'm going to be talking to in the future who's going to spearhead that on your end.
Al, you have an update to that, or outside it seemed like you knew more than me, so.
Yeah, here's what the situation. I'll give you 2 updates real quick to help you guys out, so it should be filled in. In terms of what we're going to be doing on the bid, we did not get any bids. Okay, so which made it kind of tough. So right now we're coming into a time where we're going to put it out for bid after the holidays, and the reason being is because a lot of contractors are now getting their price increases. You probably know that, Andrew, in the business. You usually know December, January, and then they start looking for the work. So we're going to put this out in January, take a little bit different approach. I talked to Manick and Smith. There's a service that we can put it out there. It doesn't cost very much at all, so it'll get broadcasted. And then basically what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to call some contractors. We're going to try and track down the ones, too, that did White Park, or not White Park, but the one over in Whiteford.
Yeah, the Stone Cove.
Yeah, so we're just going to have to get it out there and see who wants it. I'm kind of encouraged only because there are people looking for work right now, like on our maintenance building.
It's bid season.
Yeah, we had like 9 bids come in, so I'm encouraged by that. So we are working on that to get that going. For the drinking fountains, I got one last thing to do. That is, I have to talk to our plumbing inspector to make sure we have in the bid what he wants. And it's the same thing. We're going to put it out for bid, get those going in the spring. So those are 2 high priority projects that we want to get done and going. So that's where we're at. So if you guys have questions, you can feel free to call me or Corey. And like I said, we're working on it. So like I said, I've been in contact too with Manick and Smith and everything. So.
Perfect. I appreciate it.
Alrighty.
Steve, did you have anything else you want to cover? Just update to, I was going to say, his update was probably going to be as much as we've learned and known as a board. So go right ahead.
Contact you somewhere down the line in January.
Go right ahead.
I was going to say, I also have been really into wanting to get the pickleball going, and I want to make it a top priority for this next year to get this done.
Agreed.
That's all of our partners. Moving on to comments from the public, limited to 2 mintes. Does Anybody want to hop up? Todd, go
Well,
right
I'll
ahead.
jump up. Todd Bruning, 2980 Conceal Road, Lambertville, Michigan, 48144. I'll be speaking to 9B, selection of officers. Al called MTA, so he looked into it. You guys do not need a liaison, okay? I'm more than willing to do it if you guys want one, but if you don't need one, I don't have to be here. So it's going to be up to you guys whether you want one or not.
Thanks. Any other comments from the public? All right, moving on to old and new business. Approval of the 2025 meeting calendar. I don't know if you guys got it in your email. Just looking at through calendar year 2025, what our meetings would be. We do the second and fourth Mondays of the month, 7 p.m. here. The only ones that come into a gray area is May 26th, falls on, that's Memorial Day Monday. Township Hall will be closed here. We can still have that meeting, or we can decide we're just doing the one in May, which, as past board, we followed the holiday and we just simply didn't have one. The other would be generally, because it falls right into that line of holiday again, there's usually only this one meeting in December. So December 22nd is that Monday. We can keep that and have a second one in December, or we can play it as just doing the one in December. So those were the two oddballs. My vote would be or what I'm going to motion for is keeping the calendar as is, except for Memorial Day. Not having that meeting on May 26th. The Township Hall's closed. Everybody's if you're traveling, going, I know I won't be around for it. So it'd be up to you guys if you would want to have a meeting or not, but I will motion to approve the calendar with no May 26th meeting. I would keep December 22nd on, so if there's any bills or anything that comes in end of the year, we can knock that meeting out quick. Need a second to go to vote.
I hate Mondays, but it is what it is. Last board, was impossible to switch days. Is Mondays disastrous for anyone else, or not particularly? I'll figure it out. I've made it happen this long, but
I can do Mondays, but Tuesdays are even better.
I know Tuesdays or Wednesdays would be excellent, but for some reason we couldn't do Tuesdays because
it
the
falls,
township board and something with
we have to have everything township by that Tuesday to get on their agenda otherwise you're pushing items that we're approving over to them out.
And why
an
didn't
additional 2
Wednesdays
weeks.
work? Maybe that, I don't know.
Same thing, getting things over to the township meeting a week and a day later instead of waiting 3 weeks.
This was a one-year thing. If it
This for
crushes
2025,
me, I'll
yep.
say something for 2026, I guess.
Okay.
Unless anybody wants to, I'd go any other day would be easier, but I'll do this too, whatever.
I'm just used to it at this point.
Yeah.
Second and fourth Mondays. You'll second the motion.
Yeah, that's fine.
So no meeting the 26th,
And keeping
the December 22nd, and Mondays, second and fourth Mondays, 7 p.m. here. That's it. We just need a vote for approval. I will approve.
Aye, yes.
Aye. So we will keep this as our calendar for 2025. I'll give this to you so you can attach it
Yeah,
to your
good.
minutes. Next would be the selection. Next item is the selection of officers. As a new board, we have 3 main officer positions: secretary, treasurer, and executive or president. Basically, we can have an open discussion with it. We can look at immediate
I
position
think you're a
fillings.
shoo-in for president if you're willing to do it.
If you nominate me, I'll roll with it. Also,
I won't roll with it if I'm
that's
nominated.
what I kind of
And you've got
figured.
some experience.
In my head, I had already put it as
Yeah, you're the man.
and I was going to nominate you as secretary to keep him going with minutes. If either one of you show interest or want to take treasurer and
I'll take it.
move into it, that's more than open to it. I'm not going to do multiple positions.
Treasurer is really the most important job in certain respects. It's less than it used to be. It's been.
Chris kept it really well organized, and if you've got Chris's number on what he might have done outside of meetings and what I saw of it, because I was never a treasurer position, I don't know the finer details. But I'm totally on board with, I will make a motion to put Josh as treasurer. I'll take the executive position and keep you rolling at secretary position.
I do have a suggestion that we,
Go right ahead.
planning, we had a vice chair just in case you were not there.
Yep.
To do it. So I think it'd be good to have a
I
separate.
think you're the vice chair. Yeah, that's
sounds
what
like-
Andrew was before, wasn't it, or Chris was?
There was never
were
an
the vice.
official, but yeah, I
thought it
worked
was
with
official.
Carol on unless it wasn't a meeting, I wasn't there. So
Pretty sure it was actually official that you.
I
were
worked
the
as the vice
Yeah,
chair
yeah.
pretty much with Carol, so that
Yeah, and I would be more than happy to take vice chair.
then let's list it as that.
Board it. Okay, so motion to nominate Andrew as
Executive chair.
Matt as vice chair, Josh as
Treasurer.
treasurer, myself as secretary.
I will second that motion. Or is that my motion? We'll make it my motion if you want to
Your
second.
motion, I second. Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 It passes. Those are our new positions. Moving on, old new business, park assignments. Definitely want to change this around, update it. Basically from past board, Anstead, Samaria, White, and Wheeler would not be covered. I was Cars Grove, but I've moved to the opposite side of the township to where I want to relinquish Cars. I know we were pre-discussing it prior to the meeting. I would look at taking over as the liaison for White Park and Wheeler, as those are the closest ones to me. Closest ones to you were Carr and Anstead, leaving, because of the position and how much you're going to see them, Pocket Parks and Samaria to you. And if you want to stay with Parmalee and go, that has us covered.
So we got another guy who's not here, and
He's
we
not
don't
here to
know-
where
we don't know if
can
he
give
should even be
Samaria, if he's taking, I guess, where does Kyle live, or what's he closest?
I know he lives off of Clegg Road, but I mean,
I don't know. Well, for the time being, like I said, we can't, until he's here, we can basically relinquish one over to him and that, but to have the coverage and go, that's my kind
Including parks, that's 7, so it'd be 2, 2, 2, 1. So you'd each do 2, I'd do 1, essentially. I got Parmalee, you each can handle 2.
He's got Samaria and Pocket Parks. He's right by Carr and Anstead, and I'm right by White, and Wheeler's literally a quarter mile down the road from me. So,
Good.
Make
That
it
works.
a motion if you want to write it out and list who's who.
And this other guy, Kyle,
When he
whatever, you
comes,
guys
if you
can
want to
distribute.
give him Samaria, or I can give him Wheeler, the preserve. Before, we obviously had Anstead and Wheeler because they're both our preserve parks kind of together. So obviously, if something comes up for one, like the controlled burns or that, we'll work together on it. It's just mainly for overseeing it, stopping by once a week, just making sure things are good there, that nothing, porta potties aren't destroyed. Or Samaria and Carr are a little bit more in depth with the rental halls.
right?
Answering rental hall questions. We'll have to get, what's our service called? Leo, the point and pay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We'll have to get them, your emails registered on it, so you start getting the reservation emails so you can approve them and go in, and then you see the schedule of when it's booked. But we'll get all that going. But those are the kind of the biggest pieces to it. So if we want to make it official, I'll motion those park assignments. You got them listed, Anstead and Carr to Matt,
Great.
Samaria and Pocket Parks to Josh, White Wheeler for me,
Got it.
and you've got Parmalee.
I'll second. You're
All in
motioning, I'm
favor?
seconding, yep.
All in
Great.
favor?
Aye.
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 There's our park assignments. How you see it on the agenda is usually then we always have them listed as we'll go park by park for any kind of updates or report you might have. I don't know if you guys have been through the parks since we've become a board or visited them or had anything you're bringing to the table for them, so we'll just go. Anstead, I haven't been to in a bit, getting into the fall season. It was up to date on the controlled burn through the fall. I think the next one, and I'll talk with Carol on that, is see, usually we did either a fall or a spring, and they would do it by zone. That's usually the main piece with that, unless there's groups or somebody that wants to do volunteer time or anything with that. I don't have any update to Anstead, unless you guys have anything. Samaria, I don't have anything or update. I never could see the bookings for Samaria, so I couldn't even tell you about the hall. If it's booked or not, it's we got to get the point and pay up to date with the right emails and executor of that. White Park, I was at the concession stand, got some flooring updated in there, as well as the corner of the building, this southeast corner was damaged by Stevens when they were removing porta potties and that. We had Holt Roofing out, they got that fixed. The bill's gotten over to maintenance now to be taken care of. So that's all winterized and ready to go there. Parmalee, any update from our
Parmalee,
in October?
so one job that is unofficial is communicating with Stevens, which Josh, I think that's your, you work there, so
Bread
maybe
and
you
butter.
could do that with us. Chris kind of did that for us before. The dumpster has not been dumped in a while as of like yesterday, so maybe it happened today, but I don't think so.
Yeah,
I-
Parmalee.
Yeah, and I think I think we might have scaled back.
I can
And-
confirm, talking with Stevens in emails today, everything's been set to the winter pickups. I would have to look at exactly what it is in the invoice.
It's not zero.
No, it's monthly for
It's got to be at least
Hampstead,
once a month,
Wheeler.
right?
It's monthly for like the real small parks, and then it was bi-weekly instead of weekly for like White, Carr, Samaria, and I believe
Parmalee hasn't been picked up in quite a while. Definitely more than 2 weeks, and I'm thinking it's like a
I
month.
think one of them was listed as on call.
Really?
I looked at it, and
want to
then
take the reins on it.
I will. And
Help us out and talk to Stevens for us. 'Cause,
and Samaria, the 2 yard at Samaria, that's monthly from what I saw too.
Okay, Samaria is monthly as well. Yep. Really, the only thing that comes in during the winter is bookings, and when the cleaning services puts any of the garbage into that, it's not common. And Samaria's booked far less for the rental hall than Carr, at least in the history of it.
Really?
On call, essentially, we can call the office and they do it, and
Yeah.
they charge then per
Yeah.
pickup.
Yeah. And on call, it's like any given moment. It could be from like 1 month to 4 months.
The dumpster's going
I
to
think-
sit there; they're not going to remove it, and it's
Unless
a
we
matter
call,
of
I mean,
called empty. Yep.
Should I call tomorrow about Parmalee, or I mean,
Yeah. If it's full, give them a call and
give them a call and
Say
whatever?
something.
Huh? Okay. Check and make sure that.
Now you were on the email, so check in your email. It'll show in the invoice what each one is set for. If you want to set it as a monthly,
No, it should be set monthly, not
It
on
should
call. But
didn't
that's
think we
fine.
had
I'll
any.
call still and make sure it gets done. So that was that. So I've been taking the phone calls, and there's definitely been quite a few people asking about their pocket parks and things like that. But
probably fall cleanup stuff.
right. I presume all that's been done by now, but there was definitely pocket park questions. There was a porta potty complaint about. I was unclear if it was White Park or Indian Creek, because it was like, oh, we walk at White
Right.
Park, Indian Creek, and the porta potties are so bad. But don't we still kind of include Indian Creek in our porta potty, or no? It definitely is separate.
Yep. This
Really, for the Indian Creek one.
it's
Okay.
scheduled in through the school board, whoever.
Kidding. I thought like we grandfathered that into our thing. That's good. So maybe it was Indian Creek. I don't know. Check and see. I don't know. But there was a call that came in about porta potties being not good in that area. I'll keep doing the phone calls. We'll call that a secretary job. That's cool.
If there's anything pressing, you
Yeah.
got it.
Angie had asked us in the email what was our like preferred contact for our parks as liaisons. I mean, should we just forward that all to the phone number? Are we allowed to do that? I mean, I guess.
I would, unless you guys want your cell phone listed or a contact. I mean,
I'll reply to her that
it's
she
our
can
office line, and then our township emails are always listed.
Right.
So it'll come to you. Just make sure if you haven't gotten that set up. I don't know if any of you.
I'm still like not able to log in. I have to call them again.
Still not working.
It's done. The last I had talked with Angie, she's got everything set up, and if yours wasn't working or something, she had a new password for you.
I'm gonna go in there in the morning and talk to her
She's
about
got it ready. You guys just need to stop in and get the login info or get it to where they can get it activated and good for you.
I understand the email doesn't exist.
Yeah. I've actually had to call
Check
into
with
tech support.
Yep. Check with Angie. She got it set up for all 5 of us. Mine was the same, so it's still operating. But I've been kind of fielding the emails now because I figured you guys weren't fully set up and ready. But stop in, get that going, and you'll get basically anytime there's a park commission email, it'll kick to you as well, so you're a part of it and see it. Cars Grove, I don't have any update to. Al had more of an update with the pickleball situation where that also, I know it was on hold, on pause after we had public bid, so we kind of know where that stands. Wheeler Preserve, no update. Anything else you guys want to add for the parks or notice anything since you've been elected coming in? Ideas, options?
I'd like to see some more community events, especially during the summer.
Works for me. It's something we can discuss and
Get these
you know,
pickleball courts all
main
spruced up.
one community event we have each year that we handle is fireworks, is through us, and we usually, Chaz was a big part of that as well as myself on getting the food trucks there, trying to get it bigger than simply just shooting off a show and going home. So it slowly progressed. It didn't go crazy, but we have the fireworks fund an option to get that. The fireworks contract should be good for the next 3 years. It was a 5-year extension. We did do it a year or two ago. So nothing that we have to worry about going out, getting bids and doing all that for the fireworks. The crew itself and who's launching it, that's all set up and ready. That's all I've got for parks. Anything else from you guys?
What else did I have? The point and pay. Do you know how many year contract we have on that? You remember?
I think
feel
it just
was
keeps
like-
going, and as we pay an annual renewal,
You don't think
and
it's
it
a
runs.
contract? You think we could stop if we wanted? I could have sworn we had like a couple year agreement, but that could have been.
Al, any
by now.
idea on that or something where I'll check?
So, I mean,
I'll check into it because we also need to, once you guys have your emails set up and everything, we need to get everybody onto Leo and Point and Pay, and then with the park assignments with Samaria and Carr, get you guys on there, because how it works, when we became a board 4 years back, all the parks were closed because COVID, but the process of like renting and everything was no longer where people just stop into the hall and do it through the treasurer's office. So we came up with this online system where we uploaded all photos and all the details of each hall and rental piece, to where the community can click in, go in. It has the calendar of dates and what's available and open. You click it and you rent it, and it's all done through that. Once it's approved for whichever park, so Carr, Samaria, or any of the, like White still has them for like the pavilions and so forth, those are all listed. It would kick through to that liaison that they would have to go in and approve it. And then it would lock that date and everything for it. So you just kind of weekly or when you're checking your email, make sure and see if there's any updated bookings, booking questions people usually have. It's a matter of going on and you can click right into the bookings and see the list and verify their info, or hey, I can't remember if I had this date or that. You'll get a lot of just oddball questions like that.
Okay, and then the other thing I was curious about too, so for Samaria Parks Rental Hall, so when they go to book it, do they pay with a card online?
It's all paid direct online and done. They get an approval email once you do it that explains the week of their booking. Usually the bookings are Saturdays and Sundays. Some might do it Thursdays or Tuesdays if they've got an event or whenever it may be. That week prior to, they have to come into Township Hall to pick up their set of keys, and they leave a copy of their license, and then they return the keys after the fact.
Okay.
Treasurer's office does still handle that, and the treasurer's office also has a full detail of all the bookings so they can see it as well. They're part of that system. We just need to get your emails into it.
Right.
And update it.
And then the other thing too, so when they go to book it or when I go to approve it, if their card gets declined, let's say, would that
It
be?
won't go through and lock the date or send you a booking until it goes through.
Okay.
It has to be paid for on.
So yeah, I won't get it until, okay, that's good.
Any type of like groups where we've done, I know with ComEd we've done it in the past and a few others, like they'll book dates and we approve as a board or bring to meeting like we're going to reimburse this party, like that this was a nonprofit using it, or if they've got an event, they'll still have to pay it up front, and then we can do a reimbursement or an approval as a board to say, hey, no, we're giving you this date for booking, you don't have to pay for this. That's how it's set up with this online system. That's the only thing we could come up with to cover it, since none of us are full-time and at the hall constantly to take bookings and do it.
Phone calls and all that, yeah.
Yep. If
certainly one of those things that's
It's-
a tragedy of government, that if somebody owned those things, they would not, the gross to net revenue would be a much
Higher rate.
a much more conscientious thing to the manager, but because it's just this sort of thing that the township has and nobody really is associated with the revenue, it's like, I think we kind of pay too much for the booking system. I think it seems like we pay a lot for cleaning, but whatever. They don't seem to be losing money, and I guess if we were going to...
It's gaining, and the rental halls actually get booked
Yeah,
up quite a bit. I think
That's good.
We'd have to look at treasurer's side of it, if pull like a running from 2024 from this year at the end of the year, see what it brought. I think the past couple of years it's averaged about 20 to 25,000 they bring in. That goes
Together or separate?
together as the bookings as are between the pavilions and the two rental halls. So
Nice.
it's a lot of that goes to the cleaning service, the OLEO payment, and general maintenance of the buildings, but it helps cover those items.
Right.
The thing that's there, I guess our limited time would probably be spent better on events and trying to do things like that to make money than to nickel and dime the two little shelters, but
They're still a good source of income, but expand off of it for sure.
Yep.
they're there.
How much for Leo? How much do we pay for that?
I'd have to check.
$1,500 a year
Yeah, I think it was
plus.
15
It's like
annual.
15, and then there's fees and things. So like I know there's a flat fee of $1,500, which even right there, it's like, well, we make $2,500 and 15 of it goes just to the booking service. So,
Piece of it that was discussed in the past too with, we went through a phase of like the limitation of ball fields and just how much was available for how many travel teams and softball and all the pieces, to where systems there, we already have it in place to where if we decided as a board and we wanted to do it and we
Sure,
got
we were
out of
gonna put that on
contracts,
there, huh?
you can put fields on there and you can rent it per hour. You can, it's, the system's in place for us to have the options and do it. Right now we're under extended contracts, obviously with 3B and White Park and the different travel teams on Samaria, Carr, and Parmalee.
Yeah.
That's the route, because then they help with maintenance and upkeep of the ball diamonds and getting things upgraded and going. So it's where we put something in place to where it can be expanded on. It never was. So that's kind of where that all stood.
Do you also think that we're shorthanded on as far as the amount of ball fields we have in the township?
Yes and no. It's, I mean,
depends if you had Indian Creek or not.
yeah, that's through the school.
Yeah, but that's a whole.
That's all.
Indian
other
Creek's
worms
got a
there.
lot of ball fields.
There's 7 more over there. They're mainly softball. I think there's always going to be a shortage of fields with the amount of influx of travel teams and who wants on fields when and where, and we can only work with what we have available. So
I think, I don't know. Ball fields maybe wouldn't be the first thing to invest in making new ones of.
I'm just saying down the road.
Pickleball is probably
Well, there's a
option
demand
1,
for it.
2, and 3 is pickleball at this point. For
It's
new-
growing. There's a demand for it for sure.
Yeah.
I talked to by multiple people about it already.
So we're still in 11 here, Commissioners.
no, we're
Wide-ranging comments.
kind of still on the parks. So if that's
yeah?
all we've got for that, we'll jump to wrapping this up. Number 10 is comments from the public, limited to 2 minutes. Feel free. Just need name and address.
Corey Welch, 9585 Minks Road, Temperance. I'm currently serving as the deputy supervisor. I started on November 20th, working with Al in the supervisor's office. So I just wanted to introduce myself and make sure you guys know that I'm here to be a resource and to help you guys as much as possible. I have a lot of experience working in government and nonprofits. So when it comes to grant writing, and I have a lot of skill set when it comes to that. So I just want to be a resource for you guys and to let you know that. And, I'm happy to help. And I'll make sure you have my phone number.
Appreciate it, Corey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Al?
Al Pryor, 1167 North Park. A couple of things. I might need a little bit more than 2 minutes if you grant me that courtesy if I go over.
Courtesy, go right ahead.
Okay. A couple things. I would make a suggestion to the board is that you have strictly a couple strategic planning meetings, period, where you define what you want to accomplish, because you've got the park plan. Really define where you want to go, what you want to do, and your projects. Okay? I would start your projects out from small to big and really focus on where you're going, because you got the people to do it. The thing is, what we're still going to do in terms of the maintenance, we'll get you Corey's, how we're doing it. You get it over to Corey, we'll get it over to Pat. And if it's something that we need to discuss with you, then we'll call you up and say, hey, this is what the problem. If we don't need to discuss it with you, we're just going to plan it and do it. Same way if the bills are coming with us. Todd worked that out when we did the invoice thing, so we'll get the invoices, we'll take care of them, and we'll let you know, here's what we're paying. This way you guys don't have to worry about that too much in terms of that.
Definitely streamlines it, makes it
Exactly.
nicer.
You may want to, with your strategic planning, is SEMCOG may offer to do, we have to check with them, a SWOT analysis, strength, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities for our parks, where they actually come in and they analyze, and you list that, and that can help with your strategic planning in terms of what you want to do. We had a lot of good information from people on some of the surveys, what they wanted to see in their parks. And, in SEMCOG, they have access to money. There is a lot of grant opportunities out there.
Ton.
Yeah, we have to write them. That's the whole thing in terms of that. So that's what I'm taking a look at to say, hey, if we can give you some guidance and help, we will do that, especially working with Corey too, because we all want to see things in the parks, right? It's part of our economic development. We have good parks. We got people who want to move here. We got people who want to do things. They want to spend money, just like we were talking about festivals and that kind of thing. They can do it. People will get behind it. We almost pulled it off before COVID with the Summerfest.
Yep.
And that was all in place until COVID hit. And then we had some people that shut the country down, which we couldn't control that, but anyways, that hurt. And you look at things in a community where people do get behind it. I can tell you this, on Blizzard Fest, it's all donations, and it's been going for 7 years. So it's out there, so whatever we can do to help you, we will do it. So
I think us meeting and getting a priorities list or like a project's top 10 and then dishing it to the township board and letting the township board say yes, no, or, yes, no, maybe. And then we go from there because, township's got all the money and we don't have any money. And I personally think that's great and don't think there needs to be a millage or anything. I just think there needs to be like, yo, township, what do you guys want to see us work on? And then we go work on it. And it's as easy as that, and we could give like a top 10 list of projects and then let the township board tell us which ones they like. And we'll spend our time on those, and we could do that every year, So that way we don't get projects that nobody wants or work on things that nobody wants. So yes, we should have we should add a cow meeting, or we should vote to make one of those Mondays a cow meeting if we're allowed to do that. Or I guess we can add a cow to the beginning. Yeah,
because you can't actually vote, and we'd always have bills and
yeah.
treasurer's report.
Is that our last comment from public?
Any other comments from public? Good. Commissioners' comments. If you want a motion for a cow meeting, go ahead.
Well, no, I want to know, are you going to write the agendas?
Yep.
Or okay. So you'll create them.
So if you want it on the next agenda, our next meeting would be January 13th after the new year. We don't have one scheduled for, I think it's the 23rd, is that Monday prior to Christmas. We'll have one this upcoming year. But our next meeting would be that second Monday, January 13th at 25, I can put on the agenda to discuss and plan on.
No, I guess
cow meeting.
I think just put on the agenda, discuss when to have a cow meeting, and then maybe we'll plan one for February or March, or something like that. So put potential or scheduling a cow, throw on the agenda, and then another item for the agenda is I guess discussing if we want Todd or if we want a township liaison or not.
Yep.
Just throw that on the next one, and we can discuss that in an agenda discussion. I already think 99% no, but maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. And we'd love to have you. We miss you here, but I don't know that it's necessary. I don't know. But throw that on the agenda. I think that's all I could think of for now.
If we have other ideas for the agenda, do we just email you then?
Yep, email them to me. Generally, I usually send out an email, or Carol did, and I'm going to follow suit of how she went about it. Wednesday, by the end of day Wednesday, prior to our meeting on Monday, because then I have to have everything over to Angie by Thursday, because they posted on Friday for the meeting on Monday. It has to be posted for at least 24 business hours or so prior to, and obviously their last day in office to be able to post into it is that Friday before. If you come up with any ideas or something you want to discuss, if you're looking at items for a park, or hey, let's look at these bids, do we want to pursue this? Get it to me so it can be on the agenda so it can be discussed. Cow meetings, the committee as a whole, are meetings to where we have, kind of as I was saying, we have those strategic planning, like those open discussion meetings. Nothing can be voted on, nothing can be approved or motioned for approval or anything of that nature. It's just an open discussion meeting. Generally, we had those as the last board for prior to and then after planning our yearly budget and what we were aiming for in terms of budgeting and doing all those pieces. We'll obviously still be doing that. Budget, the fiscal year runs July 1st through June 30th. So we're kind of at a halfway mark of our current budget. With what you'll see going in, talk with Bob and getting the treasurer's report and reviewing our budget, do a lot of that stuff with them so you understand where it's all coming from and where we stand. I'll give you an idea of what our funds are for the year and what we have remaining, what we can pursue. But yeah, all that, the new fiscal year begins July 1st to where midsummer's where we got the whole new annual. If there's a major project we're pursuing, it's kind of planned midsummer and fall, or we're spending up and using the budget prior to June 30th kind of deal. Obviously being parks in our area and our seasons, not as much gets done in the winter. Everything kind of goes into a standstill, and it's more, this is our time to spend as a board, and having those COW meetings coming up after the new year to plan accordingly. Let's make a plan for the season. What are we aiming for? What are we doing? So that'll be on the agenda for next month at our next meeting. I don't have any other comments. Matt, do you have anything?
Nothing yet.
Okay. Josh?
Yeah, I think a COW meeting would be a great idea. I think it would be great to invite Al, Corey, and even more specifically invite Bob over here and see what we can do, because I think if we put together a good plan before the township starts doing their budget meetings, I'd like to see us get more money from the township's general fund to do some projects. And like you were saying, Aaron, about the projects, that like 10 of them, I would say rank them 1 through 10, 1 being higher priority, 10 being least priority, and go from there on that one. I think that's a great way to start. So I don't think I'm missing anything else.
Todd, you're still technically liaison. You want to throw any comment in?
I think so. We don't have a 23rd meeting, huh?
Nope, we never have that. I had that one by Christmas, but
Yeah.
the 22nd doesn't fall that close, and I think we have it keep it scheduled for. Obviously, that's what we approved to. If we have anything that comes up, we can get it taken care of. But
If the two of us want to get to know the two of these new guys better, we have to meet one-on-one. We can't meet one-on-two, right? 3 is a quorum, and that's not allowed?
is a quorum.
It's illegal.
So we can hang out individually, but not as a group. Otherwise, it's got to be
Correct.
like this.
Or a COW meeting.
But we should all hang out, go to Tim Hortons one-on-one or something. So, good.
If that's it, our next meeting, like I said, January 13th, 2025, here at Township Hall at 7 p.m. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.